Hey everyone, Jeff from GamerPops here, along with Greg. Say hi, Greg.
Hey, Internet, I'm sleepy.
Oh, this is going to be a good show then. Welcome to episode 2 of our new little web show thingy that we're doing. Now, last week we talked about Splatoon, and we said that this week we would follow up on it once we got release copies, like actual retail copies to see how things work. Well, a funny thing happened on the way to, that there were some issues with with Nintendo getting out the full copies, and what ended up happening is we had to continue to use our pre-release versions, which weren't connected to the world servers. Well, guess what happened? I couldn't get into a game. The kids couldn't get into a game. So I did get a code today, so we will take a look at that, and hopefully we can follow up on that next week to let you folks know. One thing I did get to do, Greg, is I did go and get some amiibo. Here they are in all their wonderful glory. There's the Kraken amiibo.
Nice.
The boy Inkling and the girl Inkling. So what they end up doing is they just basically open up some challenges based upon single player mission levels you've already cleared, and by completing some of those levels you get some more in-game perks and boosts and things along those lines. So that's what the it's cool, and it adds some more content, assuming you can find them, which I've heard that they're not. But we're on a tight schedule, so I'm not going to get into an amiibo rant. I promise this time. I'll save that for another time. I'm sure there'll be plenty more opportunity. So before we get into talking about the Nintendo Direct, hey, Greg, Fallout 4.
Yay! That's all I need to say.
That's all you need to say.
It has color.
Yeah.
Color, people!
Fallout fans are looking like they're going to be happy with that one. So on to some news. We'll talk really briefly. Nintendo, out of nowhere, threw out a Nintendo Direct Micro with a really tiny little build-in, and it was so cute, talking about some things that they have planned coming up. So Nintendo does this from time to time, very short notice, announcing new games that are coming out, taking a look at the list of some of the things that they're coming out with. Chibi Robo Ziplash. That's based upon the old, I guess it's the next version of previous Chibi Robo games. This one looks like it's more of a platformer. Never really played the old ones, but it looks like it's pretty cool. It's for the 3DS, and it comes bundled with an amiibo, so we can avoid that nasty little problem of not finding amiibo for games that come out.
Now, is this the first game that's been bundled with its own amiibo character?
Mario Party 10 had a Mario amiibo available.
Right, okay.
You could get it either way, but this one, it comes with it. So,
and I like to see Nintendo doing that. It's like you said, it avoids the whole like chase, having to track stuff down, and B, it's gonna put it's gonna make it so that gameplay isn't so like walled off that people aren't gonna get access to it, or whatever the Chibi Robo amiibo unlocks. Try saying that 10 times fast. Chibi Robo amiibo.
Nope. I'm not even gonna try.
Hey, how about saying Dr. Mario Miracle Cure for the 3DS?
Yeah. So my wife's gonna love this one because she was a huge Dr. Mario fan, and I try not to let her get out the version we have on the Wii because she'll just keep playing it and nothing will ever happen and I'll never see her again. So, looks like a new twist on an old classic. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, speaking of things that we can't say 5 or 10 times fast. Basically, we've seen Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games before. This is another one.
Is it going to be super, though? That's the question.
Well, I guess we'll just have to find out, won't we?
Here's the thing. When are they going to announce a new Pokemon Snap game? I'm going to keep saying it until they finally get around to making it. Because again, that gamepad controller is exactly what you'd want to play Pokemon Snap. You could even have like an AR experience around, like finding Pokemon hiding around your house. Where Nintendo? You can keep your Dr. Marios and your Chibi Robos. Pokemon Snap.
Hey, we are getting LBX Little Battlers experience, which is apparently based on some anime that I've never heard of in my life. So, whatever.
Next.
Art Academy Home Studio, basically the Wii version of Art Academy, and Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. You knew it was coming.
You know what? I'll say in defense of that game, the last couple haven't been bad. And the Mario and Sonic thing is a nice angle. Plus, back when these first came out, it was kind of, when the Wii was known for being the home of horrible minigame compilations. Now that we don't really have those anymore, a fairly decent one like I would expect this to be, I think there's a place for it.
Okay.
I really do.
Cool. So that's, just a really quick rundown of the Nintendo Direct Micro. Coming next, we are going to show you a quick review of Puzzle and Dragons Z and Puzzle and Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition for the 3DS. Puzzle and Dragons Z plus Puzzle and Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition is a two-game package for North America that is based on the mobile free-to-play game Puzzle and Dragons. For this 3DS exclusive version, the free-to-play aspect has been thankfully jettisoned. In addition, stories, overworlds, and in some cases, towns and non-player characters, known as NPCs, to interact with have been added. The basic idea behind both games is pretty simple, especially if you've ever seen or played a Match 3 style game like Bejeweled, Candy Crush Saga, or any of the myriad clones of these. Build and develop teams to take into dungeons where you will do battle against many different creatures in an effort to clear said dungeons. Attacks and health recovery are performed by matching 3 or more colored orbs found on the bottom screen. On each turn, you have about 5 seconds to drag one orb to try and create 1 or more matches. Now, for each set of 3 or more matches, the monster or monsters of that corresponding color will attack, with attack boosts coming from creating multiple matches and matching more than 3 orbs. If you match up hearts, these will recover your team's collective health, which is good because if it drops to 0, you're defeated and must leave the dungeon to try again, unless you want to burn continues. While the two games share most core mechanics, there are some notable differences. In fact, when you go to the game select screen, you're given the option of Puzzle and Dragons Z and Puzzle and Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition, and there's a sentence or two describing which each game is about. It'll even say, on the intro screen, if you've never played Puzzle & Dragons before, it recommends you start with the Super Mario Bros. Edition. It's a little bit more streamlined. Like you obviously the story. The world navigation will look familiar. The universe has been integrated quite well, and it doesn't have some of the more complex aspects of the Puzzle & Dragons Z version of the game. Now, that's not to say it's easier. It certainly isn't. But I struggled mightily once I started to get to the end of World 2. But it just doesn't have the overall story the Puzzle & Dragons Z does, and obviously Puzzle & Dragons Z being the quote-unquote more proper version of the game, not really a spin-off like the Super Mario Bros. Edition, you can see the difference. Puzzle & Dragons Z feels a bit like Pokemon with the overall story, but not as deep in the activities. And it's a bit more complex, as I mentioned before. Now, I've never been a fan of Match 3 games that are just doing Match 3 over and over, my on and off relationship with Candy Crush notwithstanding. However, I do like it when it's part of something bigger, which this Puzzle & Dragons puzzle package delivers. It adds the team building and leveling up of RPGs, role-playing games, which makes it a much more substantial game. And don't let the early parts of the game and their relative ease fool you. This game packs a punch if you don't use the right teams in battle. Those easy 3-color plus hearts dungeons soon give way to 4 and 5-color plus heart dungeons. And as any Match 3 player will tell you, it's a lot harder to make those chaining combos when there are more colors in play. Is the Match 3 mechanic repetitive after a while? Yes, since it's probably how you'll spend the majority of the game, and over a massive number of levels and worlds, you may find yourself needing to take a break or two from time to time. Sure, the amount of content in the game is great value, there's a ton of it in there, but it won't lend itself well to binge play, I don't think. I enjoyed it best, I found, when I'd play a few dungeons at a time, leave, and come back later. If your kids are into Pokemon games, other simple RPGs and Match 3 games, there's a lot to like in this game for them. And as far as how appropriate the content is, I'd compare the Puzzle & Dragons Z version to be similar to Pokemon, and the SMB, the Super Mario Bros. Version, similar to other Mario games. All in all, Puzzle & Dragons Z plus Puzzle & Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition is 2 good games in one great package that will provide dozens of hours of content with more on the way. It's a deep game that doesn't feature the annoying microtransactions of its free-to-play originator, and it's great for gamers of almost any age. If you're looking for a little more puzzling in your role-playing games, this one's worth a look.
Well, it's coming up to June, and you know what that means, Jeff? It's time to start saving up money because we know what this year's Skylanders game is going to be.
We certainly do.
It's called Skylanders Expensive. No,
Wasn't that what everyone is called? Is it?
Check.
Wouldn't this be Skylanders Expensive 4 or 5 then?
Yeah. But this one, well, I mean, this one is going to be expensive because now we have not just figures to buy, but vehicles as well.
Hooray!
And when I say have to buy, I mean we have to buy them
Yeah.
because we have children, and our children want to play Skylanders. So, let's talk. Okay, Skylanders SuperChargers. That's the actual name of the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skylanders SuperChargers.
Yeah. So, what they're adding this year, it's a new portal. So, throw out your Trapmaster portal, throw out your old portals, and then remember you want them to play the old game, so you need to dig them out of the trash. But this one has a bigger portal because, in addition to having the regular figures, and of course a whole new line of figures, we're getting vehicles that the figures can interact with and use within the levels. And I gotta say, they look pretty cool. You know, the first impression, once you get past the, oh, this is gonna cost me money, is, yeah, I kind of like where they're going with it. It makes sense.
Yeah, but it's like it's cool stuff for the money because those they're vehicles now and they're gonna be like toy cars or like toy vehicles that kids can play with outside the game, which is something that they're always going for.
Yeah, it's definitely more playable than anything else that they brought out so far beyond the game. So then the characters can use the cars or vehicles, because there's cars, planes, submersibles, everything. They can use them in the game. If they match up certain vehicles with certain characters, they get like bonuses, I guess, or better.
Certain vehicles will work best with certain characters. Like there'll be kind of like a 1-to-1 thing where like Stealth Elf works best with a certain type of vehicle and something like that. You could still mix and match. It's just there's certain quote unquote synergy, I guess, to be found by getting the right match of character and vehicle.
Vertical integration. Jeff.
Vertical integration and strategies.
So I assume we're gonna get a whole bunch of different types of characters. I liked this year when they introduced the minis. I thought that was a good little way to go because you get 2 in a pack for the same price as a regular large character. So, I mean, I still think to this date the Trapmaster characters are maybe the best just overall series of Skylanders yet.
Yeah. They're pretty cool, those figures.
Pardon?
They're pretty cool, those figures. We've managed to find all of them, so they're on a little collection shelf out there when they're not being tossed aside by the children.
Yeah, my son got into Minecraft and Lego in a big way this year, so the actual like buy-in on Skylanders was a little bit lower this year, but he recently got one because thanks McDonald's for making Skylanders Happy Meal toys. that reminded us, oh yeah, we haven't played Skylanders in a while.
Yeah, they always like to get back into it too.
Yeah, so we're starting to see some early videos, some stuff that's showing up on the web. So obviously E3 will get the big announce, and I mean, I think it's safe to say if you play Skylanders, you're going to be playing this, and if you spend money on Skylanders, you're going to keep spending money on Skylanders.
Yeah, really wish they wouldn't come out with the annual series, just from a pocketbook perspective. But
this annual series has become a yearly tradition.
Activision got Activision. All right, on that happy note, thanks for watching this week. We'll be back next week with hopefully an actual in-depth look at post-release Splatoon like we promised last week, and any other big news that comes up during the day, especially as we get into the biggest show of the year, E3.
I got 2 words for you for next week. Jurassic World.
Ooh. Is that the movie or the game or the toys? Or
I think we're going to talk a little bit of everything because you know what's great? A movie about dinosaurs eating people and toys for 5-year-olds. It's the perfect synergy.
There's that word again.
We're going to talk about that next week, and we're going to have some of the toys to demonstrate. And I guarantee both the toys and the discussion are going to be awesome.
Sweet. So until then, I'm Jeff.
I'm still awake.
Amazingly. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk again next week.